everyone, it's Louise with louisemckayart, and welcome to my channel. I really appreciate you being here because there's lots of people you can go see, and you're choosing to be with me right now, so I really appreciate that. And I'm continuing to explore different things for 2025, and I have another flip cup I'm going to be doing with the intention of creating a texture pour in the end. I have an idea for this. I just have to see if I can figure out how to do it. So I'm going to add here that the idea for this actually came from somebody who's posting AI images, and I thought I'm going to turn that into reality, and I will post that AI inspiration at the end of this creation. So what I've got here, I'm going to go over this fairly quickly. I've got my pouring medium that I'm using here, which is 50% American Floetrol with gold Liquitex's pouring medium, which is these two. I just put these in a different, I put this in a different container. And I have my colors, which this is Naples Yellow Light. Here's my consistency. That's for Amsterdam. This is Naples, oh, here is the color. Naples Yellow Light. This is the next color, which is a combination. I added Amsterdam's Naples Yellow Deep, and I added to it some Pearl Golden Hour for this one. That's this color. This here is Azo Orange by Amsterdam again, with some Artez's Tangerine, Pearl Tangerine Orange. So it's this guy. Over here, I've got Yellow Ochre by Amsterdam. And last but not least, I'm adding red this time. I've got my Artez's Bordeaux and my Deco Arts Extreme Sheen Ruby. So that's the lineup. I'm going to put these away. I'll be back. So I've got 3 cups I'm going to use. These are, I think, are 5-ounce cups. I'm going to flip one there, one here, one here. If I need any flow paint, I have some here. And by the way, just so you know what I do with my drippings that I get at the end of the table, I do put a nylon over the top and I strain it, putting it back in with the mixture. So if I need extender, flow extender, I've got some right here. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but for me, every so often I've got to kind of try something different because it gets old after a while doing the same thing. And I know I do a lot of different things with my Lazy Susans, my trays, my clocks, my coasters, my jars, my, what else do I do? Charcuterie boards, wood boards. I mean, I do a lot of different things, but I do it the same, using the same technique. And after a while, you just want to try something new. I'm just like in that space where it's like, give me something different to try. And honestly, it's so hard for me to pour on a canvas because I know that all the functional art I make is going to sell. The stuff I do on the canvas, I mean, it's just going to sit in the closet, honestly. For me, because I have no way of getting these canvases out there, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer my cups. I'll just go one at a time. Actually, I probably should just do them all at the same time. Let's just go all at once. So Naples. Probably do a couple layers. Hope you can see that. In fact, let's move everything forward. All right. Then we'll go to the, that was the light, this is the dark. And as I go through the layering of the cups and a lot of this video, I'm going to be on fast forward because I have a lot to cover. And as it is, it's almost a 30-minute video. And this way I can just kind of cram more in. But you can see what I'm doing. You already got the colors and you see the color order that I'm putting down. And I'll be back in a second as we flip cup all 3 of these. Should be enough. I sure hope so. 1, 2, 3. So I cut out about a minute here as the paint starts to settle. Let me at least get the flow paint ready in case I need it. That's what it looks like. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, give it a pop. I pop the bottom of the paper cup to get the air inside to help the paint flow out. And then funny enough, I don't do it to the other two. And the paint seemed to come out just fine. But theoretically, putting that hole in the cup does make sense because it will allow for the airflow to help push that paint out. So as I'm watching this back, I'm laughing at my there because I know exactly what I'm thinking. That I just don't have enough paint and I should have just filled up those cups. So you're going to see me here trying to stretch out the paint using these popsicle sticks, and it gets a little bit funny here. And I'm going to go on fast forward here as I stretch out the paint a little bit, and then I'll come back as I get ready to tilt it. And that's also a comedy show. I really feel like I need a barrier over here. But honestly, this part is not the important part. What's important is what I do with it. Let's give it a torch. Idea. So essentially what I'm doing here is using that long paint stick as a barricade to prevent the paint from spilling off, because I know I'm short paint here, so I'm going to preserve it by holding it back with that stir stick, and then I'm going to go back to the other side. You'll see in a second. I almost said a bleepable word, but what happened is that one of my little push pins fell out, which I'm going to have to deal with after I get done dealing with the tilting. My pin came out. It's like, come on, I don't need any problems here as I'm going through this. Oh my gosh. Oh. So as I continue to tilt this out, I'm going to go on fast forward so we can get to the next phase. So as I go about continuing to tilt this out, I don't go too much top to bottom. I'm trying to focus on going side to side because this is ultimately going to be some kind of horizon with a sunset type of pour. That's kind of cool. All right, we'll see how this one goes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I like where I'm starting from. Okay, I'll be back for whatever I do next. I'm not sure what that's going to be at this point, honestly speaking. Hi everyone, I'm back, and this is where I'm starting from, and I'm trying to here, this is all going to be the underlayment, because I'm going to have texture over the top of a lot of this, and I am in a world that I'm not familiar with, so you're gonna have to bear with me, and or you don't have to, whichever you choose, as I try to figure out how I'm gonna do I feel like I need a horizon line and a sun in here. This is like the apocalypse. All right, I'm gonna play. So I've got my colors over here. So I've got Naples Yellow Light, Naples Yellow Dark, which are a couple of the colors I already had in this, and then this Azo Orange, all by Amsterdam. Got them laid out here. And if you're wondering what the sound is, it's my heater behind me because it's cold in here. I did have the heater on last night, but it was only set to 60 degrees because I don't need to keep the room hot. So you're gonna hear clicking back behind me as I warm up the room a little bit. So I've got some water here to dip my brushes in. I'm gonna start with the sun. The idea of the sun. And I'll have to be blending. And I'm going to be dabbing. I just want to get the idea of the sun being here. So I'm going to probably go on fast forward here, because you'll just see what I'm trying to do as I go through this. So to save time here, I'm going to go on fast forward as I continue to work this sun set or sun image in this horizon. I'm working on the horizon, and then I'm going to work on the reflection of the sun that's in that red water, and we're just going to work this out. I wish I knew what I was doing. That's why I'm just voicing over here, because I'm going to learn as I go. And we'll see what we end up with. But that's all I did. Probably could have done this a lot faster if I knew what I was doing. All right. Next phase, I don't know yet. We'll think about it. So everyone, if you're this far, I appreciate you being with me still. I am taking the tape here and I'm outlining where I'm going to leave the image and also where I'm going to have the molding paste. And as I end up laying this divider down, I end up moving it around because it wasn't enough space where the image was left. So I end up making it a little more open before I go on to the next phase. So when this section here was about 40 minutes, and this is an area I'm not familiar with, and what I started with is with this golden light molding paste that I mixed with 3 different Deco Art colors I'm going to flash up here. So I'm showing you Deco Art's Satin Enamels, Pure White, Smoky Gray, and Basic Black. So yeah, I mixed these colors in with the molding paste until I got the right color I was looking for. And it was so much easier to work with than I was expecting. Like anything new for me, I always think myself into a corner until I finally say, look, just go for it. And that's what I've ultimately done here. I'm just going for it. I know I can play with it and fix it if I have to. Even when it's dry, I can adjust the color if I need to. But this was so much easier to work with and actually was very relaxing. And as I go through this, I'm going to do the sides and the top and blend the colors together as I go. And yeah, so I might put on some music here and come back when I'm done here. Another thing you'll notice in this video is I'm doing a lot of music playing and fast forwarding because I don't have any advice to give at this point. So I'm just showing you what I'm doing and then we'll learn from there. So my big decision here was, do I remove the tape now or do I wait until it dries? And I am glad I didn't wait till it dried, because this came off so easily and so clean. I was really happy with how this turned out. And now, knowing how it feels after it's dry, I'm sure if I tried pulling the tape later, it would have taken off some of the molding paste with it. So I'm glad I did it this way. And then my next decision point was whether to remove that bottom section or not. I ended up deciding to keep it here, but ultimately I do remove it. Okay, we'll let this dry, and we'll see what happens once it's dry, what we do next. But my plan is to put some trees in here. And finish off the sunset a little bit. Kind of blend it in a little bit more. Yeah, we'll see how this comes together. Very different, but something you really can do a lot of stuff with. All right, I'll be back for whatever's next. All right, everyone, I'm back. I'm gonna be putting the trees on, and I have no idea what I'm doing. This is what I'm using for my color, that I'm gonna put into my molding paste. I don't think I need much. So again, I'm going to pick up the pace here. I spend another 35 minutes or so getting these tree trunks and tree essential beginnings in place. That I started out there with the obsidian, and then I realized it's not going to be dark enough, so I end up adding some carbon black from Golden to it that I'll flash up. But I'm going to speed up here pretty quick and just show you essentially what I'm doing, and I'll add some music as I roll through this section. kind of where I want to be. I will add to it when this is, I don't know when, I'll add to it. Okay. Okay, so what I've done, I started painting on our branches here. I combined my metallic obsidian with my Golden's carbon black here. And I've got these very fine tipped paint brushes I'm going to be using. And I'm just gonna draw just branches. So again, I'm taking about 25 minutes here and I'm cutting it down into 2 minutes. So I'm just going to explain a little bit as I go here. I'm going to inset another tool that I discovered works much better than a paintbrush, because I really wanted to get fine lines the farther out in the branches, and I really couldn't with just a paintbrush. So I'm going to flash that up here right now. It's called a Real Brush Pen by Arteza, and this happens to be Noir, that I ended up using in the very end that I won't show you, but I just wanted to share with you that is a better tool than just a brush. And again, I'm going to put on some music as this unfolds. Pretty close. And the tricky part's going to be, I want to add some dead leaves or something. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Okay, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I'm just adding a little mood. I'm ever so gently dabbing that fan brush into the paint and then applying it to the texture area. I'll show you up close here in a second. Very careful not to overdo it. So again, I'm going to save a little time here by just jumping ahead, and I'm going to show you where I end up here. I'm going to stop right there for now. We are. Not sure what I'm going to do next. I gotta think. So in between here, I skipped a part I did not video where I have those vertical lines going up that looks like it's aged or crackled. And I also added some, I guess I call it eyeliner, going around the perimeter on the inside of where the paste meets the picture. And I'll highlight it right here. And what I'm doing now is I'm just adding some gold pen to the water area that would be the water area as a little bit of a highlight that just shows where the ripples are and whatever that water is I've got there. And I'm going to go fast forward very quickly through this to get to the next part. And here I'm just showing you the Sennelier marker I used, and it's the iridescent gold. Yes, so when I do another one of these types of paintings, I will be able to give you a lot more detail and give you even some advice as we go through, because for this one here, it was a real big learning experience and learning curve for me. And getting this down in video for me is definitely very helpful, and while I'm doing that, I might as well share it with you. So I'm wrapping up this part here, and then we'll go on to the next phase. So right here, I'm just going to give you the abbreviated version. I'm literally using a Sharpie fine tip marker to under highlight where the gold was in the waves that I highlighted. So I have the highlight of the waves, and then the black is the under highlight. So everyone, that's a wrap. Here's the inspiration I used for creating this piece, and if I can remember that person's name, I will put it in the description. But that person does AI art. You may have seen them. And here's my interpretation, trying to use what skill set I have to recreate it as closely as possible. Here are some close-ups in some of the areas that I created, the trees, the sunset, or the area where the sky is, and then also the water. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really appreciate you being here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials. That's all I have for now, everybody. Take care. Till next time.